By gamers, for gamers is the motto at Interplay, and they take it pretty seriously. This month in IE, we take you behind the scenes at their Irvine, California headquarters to talk with some of the people behind the recent Descent and the forthcoming Frankenstein.
The elements that we're putting into Descent 2, all new AI, all new enemies, new features, being able to swap weapons from your cockpit in another person's cockpit. There's just all new features that we're putting into that product. That sampling will be a big part of it to communicate that it's not just new levels, it's new levels and a lot more exciting game design.
We're not making the big technology leaps we'd really like to make. That's going to be for the follow-up after this. We're going to have 13 new weapons, 18 new robots, a bunch of new power-ups. We have a few new things in there I think a lot of people will like, especially with the mind complexity. We have things called buddy bots. That's our nickname for it right now. The robot, there's several different kinds of buddy bots. One will start guiding you to the next item you need to get. They'll fly off, come back, screech at you, fire a couple flares, go this way. A lot more stuff with lighting effects. We're playing around with that some more because that was one of the things that helped add a lot of atmosphere. Was what we did with our lighting. And some of this gets on the technical side where we're palletizing every mine to itself so we can have a richer environment look to it. We're adding other things like force fields, power junctions. Lights, yes, that's one of the power-ups that you can have, like very dark room. Big thing is, okay, I can throw some flares out. The problem is, dark room, big room, you throw a flare out and you see it go way off in the distance, pink and a little glow over there going, oh my god, this is huge and it's dark and what the hell did I wake up? The headlight, you can crank it up. We have it adjustable so you can crank it all the way up. It starts draining shot energy and whatnot, kind of balance it out. At the same point in time, you can turn it all the way off simply because in multiplayer that would really suck. Hey, I'm out here, shoot me! I'm this big beacon in space!
We have a philosophy of being a company that's run by gamers, that makes games for gamers. And that has been Brian Fargo's motto for a long time, and all of us take it very, very seriously.
Big leap right now is in polygon technology. That's a huge leap. It's a bigger leap philosophically than even CD is. And so, the images on screen are going to look much better than they ever have before. The whole VR sports line is a good example that, that's all, done with texture map polygons, and that whole technology, right now, PCs, Descent, which is a wonderful piece, does about 25,000 polygons a second. You look at the Sony station, which is doing 100 to 200,000 plus. M2 does 500,000 to 1 million polygons per second. So, all of a sudden we're thinking from 25,000 polygons to 1 million, your leap, and how you approach putting a product together is much, much different. But what you have is something that is incredibly realistic looking. But at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to the gameplay, the interface, the feedback you get, the level orientation, things like that. So really, we want to not lose our roots, anywhere along the way.
That's my philosophy, is the video is there to enhance the gaming experience. Otherwise, I'd be making movies. I went to film school, but I don't want to make movies. I want to make games. So video, to me, has to be secondary to the game itself. Number one, there is no such thing as interactive film. Film is a passive medium. All you do is watch somebody's interpretation of something. The only interactivity you can do is perhaps say, all right, which other film clip I want to watch next. So that's a fallacy that you can make interactive movies. It's a very expensive medium you have to look at the economics of this business. An average title, a good number of units is like 100,000 units. That's good. That's considered a success. Do the math. The net to you on 100,000 is roughly over a couple million. Filming is $50,000 a day. Yeah, 10 days is $500,000, and that's the filming alone. Now you've got to, and on top of that, you've got to add your programming, your art, all the rest of the costs involved. So, you can easily do $1, $2, $3 million in production cost on a game and barely make that back if you have a great run of 100,000.
We started off as a developer, actually doing work for other people, which makes us pretty unusual as far as publishers go, because I think we're really the only publisher of our size that started off as a developer doing work for others and have sort of grown up and have become a publisher. I think the first game we did as Interplay was Mind Shadow for Activision, which was a graphic adventure game back in, like 84, 84, 85, right around then. There was actually kind of two transitions we made. The first one was in 87, 88, was when we became an affiliate publisher, which is you stop making products for other people, but you shared distribution of other people. And so we were an affiliate label of Activision's at that time, and we did Battle Chess was the first product we shipped, Battle Chess and Neuromancer. And those were, they were being done for ourselves, but we were working with a bigger publisher to help distribute our line, but we took on more risk for higher reward too. Then it was in 91 that we actually went all out to do everything ourselves, all distribution and all sales, and that Castles was our really debut product when we did that. For me, it all came about sort of controlling, my own destiny more than anything. And once you start doing anything for a while, you always want to try to get in a position where, like, you say, I could market it better than that, I could sell it better than that, I could handle international better than that, And so what's happened is it's all been a byproduct of thinking, basically, we can do better than that, and taking it to that each next level.
Well, what we're really trying to do is move towards VR. I think that everyone agrees that that is the future of the industry. Full recreations of stadiums, done in 3D by 3D modelers, 3D polygon players driven by motion captured data, and what that allows you to do is put the camera at any point in three-dimensional space in real time. And one of those places you can put the camera is inside the player's head. We've seen the same thing over and over again for the last 10 years in the sports category. And it's not just because no one's been able to think of something new, but we haven't had the power to do what all of us sports producers have been thinking about. Well, the technology is there now, and it's time to make the next logical step, which is to push these new hardware platforms and push the high-end PCs also, and deliver performance that no one's ever seen before, and that's 3D.
One of our reasons for success is that we set up divisions at Interplay. We pick really smart people, and we let those people run their divisions. We've done that with our MacPlay division. We've done that with our OEM division, where we've become one of the premier OEM product distributors, and we're doing that with our VR Sports division. We want people who are sports enthusiasts, focusing on developing great games with great control, and really understand the market. And we want our games to be need-based games, not just another sports game out there. They have to fulfill a consumer need.
The missions basically parallel the movie. You start out with a small, as a member of a small colony, and the object is to essentially expand that colony's resources through conquest, expand their weaponry, expand their horizons, and ultimately reach dry land, which is, you're not going to be building buildings, though, as much as you will be going out and trying to either capture resources, capture atolls, capture weapons, perhaps free hostages, whatever the little thing, discover a piece of technology that someone has captured, and then also fighting and protecting your base from invasion. The graphics are going to be super VGA, top-down. Actually, not exactly top-down. We've adjusted it to it's somewhat isometric. In between missions, full motion video, which gives you a recap on what you just did, how well you did, and sets up the next mission. And in fact, we start filming next week. We're using original actors from the movie. Original sets, original costuming, and everything. So there'll be a lot of authenticity.
There was probably 3 or 4 months worth of negotiations with the company, trying to get materials put together, all the content, decide how we wanted to do it. Once we got the technical issues solved, then what kind of look do we want to have? And once we decided on that, instead of going for a professional, classy style like a large corporation would have, we wanted to keep the Interplay image intact by keeping things fun, humorous, fresh, something that people are going to want to come back to time and time again to get fresh information. we don't know exactly what it's going to do for us. I can tell you in the last 30 days we've had 55,000 people look at the website. Therefore, it stands to reason that we're getting good PR, we're in touch with our customers, we're getting feedback from the customer on what they like. Based on what demos and screenshots they're downloading, we can tell what products have the potential of being more marketable to that audience. We have some demographics that are coming back off of it, so we know who's calling. We've had hits from over 51 countries around the world, so we know maybe we're not concentrating on a market that is hitting us very well. So we've got a lot coming back that way, as well as the ability to increase our sales. The widest hit spot that we have on the website is the What's New section. That is our upcoming attractions and things that have recently shipped. What is our hot products to date and what's coming up? There you're getting press releases, screenshots, box art, demos, just about anything that we have regarding a product you can get off the website. For previous products, we have all that same information, and so there again you're getting any press release, demos, screenshots as well for our older products. For upcoming things, we might not have all that put together, so they're getting up-to-date information on what those products are. One of the other things that we're trying to do is focus groups. Interplay's always wanted to be very involved with focus groups to make sure our products are hitting the mass appeal that we want. So what we're going to be doing on some future products, a good example is, I think it was Clay Fighter 3 or something. They wanted to have, they had like 100 characters that they were in development on, but we were only going to use a dozen of them. So they wanted to let me put pictures of all the different characters online and let our users vote on which characters they wanted. We also have a complete tech support database on the web where you start off with a PC title, then you have the list of all the titles, you click on the name of the title, and it gives you about the top 10 or 15 technical problems that we have. You click on that and you just work your way down to a final solution. If it's downloading a patch, there it is right there. Click on it, it downloads, you're set to go.